The Asian financial crisis, how a region collapsed overnight. 1997 to 1999. Intro. The night the tigers fell. In the late 1990s, the world believed Southeast Asia was unstoppable. The Asian tigers, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, the Philippines, were models of rapid growth, foreign investment, strong currencies, and booming exports. But in 1997, everything changed. Within months, currencies collapsed, governments fell, fortunes evaporated, and the region that had dazzled the world for 3 decades suddenly plunged into its worst economic crisis in modern history. This is the story of what really happened, why almost no one saw it coming, and how a few small decisions set off a chain reaction that reshaped Asia. This is a lesson untold. Chapter 1. The first signs of trouble. The crisis did not begin with riots, collapsing banks, or IMF bailouts. It began quietly, with a warning. In March 1997, Thailand's currency, the baht, came under attack by speculators. Its central bank reached out to Singapore for help. Singapore's finance minister, Richard Hu, brought the request to his cabinet. Would Singapore help defend the Thai baht from collapse? The answer was clear, no. But Thailand insisted. They didn't want the world to know they were the only ones propping up their currency. So they asked Singapore to buy baht using Thailand's own reserves, pretending that the market still believed in the currency. Singapore agreed, reluctantly, and warned. It will not work. Speculators will come back. And they did. When the baht temporarily stabilized, Thai officials grew confident. But Singapore had seen enough. This wasn't a small attack. A storm was coming. Chapter 2. A system built to fail. To understand why the storm grew so quickly, we need to understand a dangerous decision many Asian countries made. They tied their currencies closely to the US dollar. For years, this worked beautifully. Low US interest rates, cheap borrowing, export booms, strong investor confidence. But in 1995, the US dollar changed direction. It strengthened, fast, suddenly. Asian exports became expensive. Profit margins shrank. Companies struggled. And foreign loans became riskier. Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, and the Philippines had borrowed billions in US dollars, assuming exchange rates would stay stable. But they didn't. This was the fault line beneath the region. And by 1996, it was cracking. Chapter 3. The breaking point. Singapore saw the danger early. American bankers in Singapore privately warned regional governments. You cannot control interest rates, fixed exchange rates, and free capital flows at the same time. It was a mathematical impossibility. But many central banks ignored the warnings. Thailand continued running large current account deficits, importing more than it exported. By 1997, foreign reserves were dangerously low. Speculators around the world smelled blood. They began short-selling the baht, betting it would collapse. When Thailand spent $23 billion of its reserves trying to defend the currency, the message was clear. The battle was lost. On July 2nd, 1997, Thailand surrendered. The baht was floated. It dropped immediately by 15%. Thai companies rushed to buy dollars to cover foreign debts. The more they bought, the more the baht sank. Within days, contagion spread. Chapter 4. The meltdown of Asia. The shockwave traveled fast, too fast. Malaysia, Indonesia, the Philippines. Their currencies were also tied to the US dollar. Their companies also held huge US dollar debts. Investors panicked. Short sellers attacked. Capital fled. When the central banks ran out of ammunition, each country was forced to abandon its dollar peg. The currencies collapsed. The Malaysian ringgit, the Indonesian rupiah, the Philippine peso, all plunged in value. Stock markets crashed. Foreign lenders disappeared. Family savings evaporated. It was the worst economic humiliation the region had seen in decades. But Singapore survived. Why? Because Singapore had done 2 things differently. Its dollar was not tied to the US dollar. Its companies held very little dollar-denominated debt. This one policy choice protected the entire country. Chapter 5. Political aftershocks. Economic crisis brought political chaos. Indonesia. President Suharto, once seen as the architect of Indonesia's growth, was forced to resign after 32 years in power. Malaysia. Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad lashed out at speculators. He blamed financier George Soros, calling currency trading immoral and demanding a global ban. Western media mocked him. Markets punished Malaysia further. Thailand. Prime Minister Shavali, overwhelmed by the crisis, collapsed under political pressure. He resigned after losing confidence in parliament. He later admitted he had listened too closely to bankers who had borrowed $40 billion and desperately wanted him to defend the baht at all costs. Chapter 6. The IMF arrives. As currencies collapsed and banks failed, countries turned to the International Monetary Fund, IMF. But IMF help came with strict rules. Cut spending, raise interest rates, close insolvent financial companies, reform banking systems, float currencies, restructure economies. Thailand and Indonesia accepted the terms, but Thailand struggled to implement them. Political leaders were deeply entangled with the very companies that needed to be shut down. Reform stalled. Confidence vanished. The crisis deepened. Chapter 7. A region transformed. The Asian financial crisis of 1997 to 1999 destroyed billions of dollars in wealth, but it also reshaped Southeast Asia. New systems of banking regulation, flexible exchange rates, higher financial transparency, stronger national reserves, and new regional cooperation mechanisms. It was a lesson learned the hard way, and it forced Asia to rethink how fast growth can blind even the strongest economies. Closing. The lessons we forgot. The crisis began not with a collapse, but with warnings ignored, risks overlooked, confidence misplaced. Asia had risen quickly, perhaps too quickly, and one shock exposed the weakness beneath. But in the end, the region recovered and emerged stronger. Because in economics, as in life, stability isn't just about success. It's about preparing for the moment when success is tested. This was the story of how a region fell, how it fought back, and what the world can still learn from those turbulent years. If you found this story eye-opening, subscribe for more histories that reveal the lessons hidden in plain sight. This has been Lessons Untold. Relax, review, reflect.